Hello liberals and the Frenchels, it's Donald. Welcome back to my kitchen. And on today's menu, I'll be serving you a guide on how to make Pokemon decks, updated to the latest expansion, Ultra Prism. So whether you're just getting back into the game or just started it, I'm here to help you out. I'm going to show you how to make great decks. So let's get started. Now, for you veteran, like, oh yeah, I've been playing Pokemon for a while. You know what's changed? Well, the biggest thing is Cynthia. The deck engine hasn't changed much from last time, but this new draw supporter Cynthia is going to be the default draw supporter. Yeah, so you're going to want 4 Cynthia accounts and now less of Sycamore and N, 3 of each. Why? Because Cynthia is just so consistent. There's nothing wrong with Cynthia. Whereas N, you may get less cards, and Sycamore, you destroy your hands. So Cynthia, gonna be the big cards. They're still born, but Cynthia, this is your true big main draw supporter now. Alright, so for you guys who've been playing for a while, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. So Donald, what about all of us here? Well, alright, fine. I'll get through the whole thing. Here we go. Let me show you the whole, how to make Pokemon decks from start to finish. Now, let's get started. Basic concept, you have 60 cards in your deck. You only get 1 draw per turn. Hopefully it's the card you need. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You need more than 1 card per turn. So what you have to play is draw supporters. Those 3 cards we talked about, basically they get you 6 to 7 cards when you play them randomly. And that is a lot better than 1. So, with those 60 cards, you just have to rig your deck. When you draw those 6 cards, let's proportion the right amounts to get what you need. Now, with the draw supporters, they're the skeletons. They're the big backbone of your deck. When you play a Cynthia, you should get another draw supporter in that pool. So you Cynthia into a Cynthia, or Cynthia into a Sycamore, or Cynthia into an N. So the next turn, you can keep drawing 6 cards every turn. If you don't, you will be sad, because you have nothing to play. That's just how the game works. Now, you have to have at least 1 energy per turn. That's your limit. You can only play 1 energy per turn, so every Cynthia should at least have you 1 energy. Okay, and you should have at least 1 Pokemon, or at the start, probably much more Pokemons. They are the cards you fight with. You need to evolve them, and hopefully you land the right Pokemon. So you're gonna need some trainers to help you out. And of course, the remaining 3 cards, they can be anything that's random. You're gonna draw them randomly, so yeah. But proportion, these are the big 3 that you always want in your hand. Now, alright, so to proportion those 60 cards, we need about 15 draw supporters. This includes certain cards that help you land them. Ultra Ball, Rangaroo, and Tapu Lele GX. Yeah. Most of my Pokemon decks have 20 to 18 Pokemon. They're about 12 energies. Some decks need more. Some decks can go with a little bit less. And if your deck says about 30 trainers, yeah, this includes the draw supporters, by the way. So that's, yeah, half your deck is all trainers. This is 60 cards. You just want the right stuff. And some of those trainers are more of Joker cards for the right stuff. So, we'll get to that later. Alright, moving on to deck template. If you look across all the decks, certain cards just kind of stay the same because they're kind of essential, and there are 2 big ones. The one you're going to see all the time is this one right here, the Bridget. Nobody plays this second one, but I think more people will because of a certain new cards in Ultra Prism. So, this template features the Bridget version. You're gonna see this all the time. People want to open up turn 1 with Bridget if they can. And why is that? Because it's a powerful opener. What does Bridget do? Let me go skip right to her. There she is. Hey, Bridget. What's up, right, Bridget? She has 2 effects. You're not gonna ever use the first effect. That's old. The second effect is you get 3 basic Pokemons on your bench right away. Start evolving them, charging up with energies, and it thins out your deck. You're not gonna draw those basic Pokemon you need. They're there on turn 1. So that's the big thing. Basically, these decks run high Bridget counts. I have 2. A lot of decks run 2, many run 3, and they also run very high Tapu Lele counts. A Pokemon lets you find any support you want, which is Bridget. Yeah, it's more expensive because these cards are expensive. If you don't get Bridget turn 1, it kind of really hurts your momentum. And Bridget isn't that great throughout the game. Like if you draw it later in turn 6 or 7, it's like my bench was already filled naturally. So it's more of a dead weight in your hand. And let's see. Glaceon Gx is a new card in Ultra Prism. I don't have it up. Glaceon Gx destroys high Coconut Master counts. It's starting to hurt, and people may transition more to this version instead. So let me tell you about this version. I do not use the Bridget version. I use the Draw Supporter version with Nest Ball. So here's what this version does. You don't open up with that Supporter Bridget. You just open up normally with the Draw Supporter. The difference is, you get more cards to play. A Bridget in turn 1, you're stuck with whatever we have in that hand. Hopefully it's good. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to have another Draw Supporter. I'm going to have a whole fresh hand, twice as many cards to play. And instead of Bridget counts and Coconut Masters, Tapu Lele, I'll have Nest Ball. So let me show you what Nest Ball does. Nest Ball is an item. I am not locked into playing a supporter. This is just one basic Pokemon goes straight to your bench. So, but however I get twice as many cards, I may land more of these. I may land more Pokemons that I need. And I have more, well, if I didn't get an energy in that hand, I'm gonna get it. So, I have more cards, that's the biggest distinction. More cards to play, and can draw. Yeah, it's just much smoother. Nest Ball's good later in the game, Bridget's not. So, those are the two biggest distinctions between the two. Alright, so the rest, I'm going to break it down right now. So let's get started. What are those exact cards in the deck template? By the way, I forgot to say, I have the templates right here. Here are the paste bin files. If you just want to copy paste into your game, that's what it is. Now, what are those key cards? Draw Supporters. Do we have to talk about them? Okay, I've talked about that very briefly. Cynthia, you shuffle your hand, get 6 cards. Key parts to 6 cards. Sycamore, discard your hand. Oh, hopefully you weren't holding anything good. Draw 7 cards. And everybody shuffles, your opponent too, and draw depending on how many prize cards they have left. At the start, lots of cards, 6 cards. At the end of the game, maybe 1 card or less. Yeah, see why Cynthia's good? So we're gonna move on from that. You need about 10 of them if you got Ultra Balls and Tapu Lele. You probably should have some of those because you don't really want to go for 15 unless you got a really special Pokemon deck. Yeah, we had some of those in the past, but very few. Alright, Draw Support Pokemons! Now here's the thing. They're giving you about 6 cards. If your deck can be built with Oranguru and Octillery, you will draw more than 6 and 7 cards and set up faster than your opponent. So, this is part of the... Let's see how they work. If you got a small hand, you played up everything in your hand because you made your deck with lots of items. We'll talk about what items those are. You can draw even more cards. Instruct! Draw until you have 3 cards. Can you play everything in your hand? Yeah. Octillery, you draw even more cards, but you have to evolve this. And it's a little bit longer, just a little longer to set up. But he'll draw you a lot more cards throughout the game. So, almost always, please put a Banana Master in your deck. It's in the theme shop. Octillery, if your deck can fit it, yeah, you're running play of basics and stage 1s. Yeah, don't worry. Just use Octillery. He might fit. Alright, so, basically, it actually combos very strongly with one of the cards that's always in the deck. This guy right here. How do you shrink your hand? Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball discards 2 cards. Get you any Pokemon which you can play right away. So basically 3 cards are disappearing from your hand. And this is a very, very easy way to trigger, probably the strongest way to trigger these 2 cards. However, others do it as well. As long as you can play lots of cards from your hand, you can go past that 6 and 7 card turn limit that you get from your Draw Supporters. So we're gonna move on now. Alright, next, Energies. This is an easy one. You just have to have enough for your, to draw 1 out of every 6 cards. That's about 12. Okay, moving on. Energy bonus. You got to attack very quickly. There's always some way that you can charge your Pokemon faster. Whether it's double colorless energy, max elixir. Look at the next 6 cards. If it's an energy, put it straight onto your bench Pokemon. Basic bench Pokemon. And that bypasses your 1 energy per turn move. And it thins your hand. this Max Elixir disappears from your hand, and you have less cards in your hand comboing with Banana Master. So, if there's some way to improve your Pokemon's, charge up rate, whether it's another Pokemon, which we'll list some right here, like Solgaleo, Lurantis, Volcanion, find some way to charge your Pokemon with energies faster. Okay, moving on here, utility trainers. Basically, it's 2 cards right now. Guzma and Acerola. Guzma is a big card. It lets you retreat and finish off your opponent's Pokemons. They're going to try to hide it in the bench. Guzma's like, oh no, you come out here. You need this to finish off Pokemons because that's potentially 2 prize cards that you can get. So usually there are 3 in the deck. Acerola, it helps certain decks, but it's very popular. You pick up a Pokemon and every card attached to it back to your hand. But the big thing is it removes all damage counters because it's not on the field anymore. So it's a nice healing card. Pretty much, essentially. Yeah, it denies prize cards. It's big, but not every deck can use it. Alright, so we're moving on. What else? Deck thinners. This is the big one. If you have some way to make your deck can fill it with more deck thinners, it's going to run faster and smoother. Basically, these are items that are jokers. They represent something else. So the easiest one to explain is their Ultra Balls and Nest Balls. They're trainers, but they can get you anything. Ultra Ball gets you any Pokemon. Nest Ball gives you any basic Pokemons. But you don't have to discard it like Ultra Ball. Timer Ball gets you any evolved Pokemon. And what it is basically when you play these, you also get the Pokemon that you want that you can play right away. And your hand will be very, very small because you can just drop all these items and draw more with Banana Master and Coconut Master. No, you meant to say Sushi Master, Oranguru, and Octillery. So these are the most common ones. There are other ones too, such as, well, let's see, Evil Soda, Max Elixir, Rotom Dex, Pokebinder mode. We don't use that one much, but it kind of works. We'll see if we can fit it in later. Energy Lotto helps you find that double colors energy. If your deck really depends on it, take some energies out, put some Energy Lottos in. So, the more items, deck thinning items you can squeeze in, you'll just land the cards you need more easily and shrink your hand combo with those big draws some more Pokemons. I think I've hit the bucket enough. Moving on, you need some way to switch. Guzma counts, but he's a supporter, so you may want some item versions like actual switches and float stones. Float stones popular these days. Yeah, it's really good because it combos with Guzma as well because you have to switch your own Pokemon. So sometimes you don't want that. That's why the float stone's there. If you combo the float stone, switch out the Pokemon that has the float stone, you just bring them back to the back and you don't have to worry about the second part of you're switching your own Pokemon. Moving on, what else? Stadiums! Some stadiums are broken. You cannot let your opponent keep them against you. Parallel City shrinks your bench to 3. It sucks. If you don't believe me, have someone do this against you. You need some way to get rid of that Parallel City. And for the new Steel decks, Mount Coronet, do not let them keep the stadium. They will have 2 free energies anytime they want, and it's so powerful for the combo. And things such as Potown are just nasty. Basically, stadiums are very strong. You have to replace them with your stadium, or remove them with a field blower. You've got to. So, that's how it goes. You have some stadiums or field blowers. Moving on! Combat Pokemon tools! Decks are designed to run with these. Pokemons are designed such their numbers, they know about the fighting, or to use the Fighting Fury Belt, Choice Band, and Bodybuilding Dumbbell. Choice Band gives you 30 more damage, and often you need this card to get a KO on your opponent. You don't want to go for a 2-shot, you want to go for a 1-hit kill. You need that 30 extra damage, so depending which Pokemon you're using, go for that. Fighting Fury Belt. This 40 hit points keeps you alive from the Choice Band. So for basic Pokemons, they get this, improves them to the stage 1 level. It's very game changing. So if your deck can fit it, you're probably gonna be running plenty of basic Pokemons. You could probably be using the Fighting Fury Belt. Bodybuilding Dumbbell. Same as the belt except for stage 1, but you just don't get that little damage bonus there. Alright, so you will be running some of these, 3 to 4 of these in your deck. Moving on, Recycling Trainers, you're running about 2 to 1 of these, depending on what. You're going to be losing Pokemons and cards throughout the game, energies. You need some way to get them back into your deck. Super odd. Shuffle 3 of any Pokemons, or energies, any combination back in your deck, because, hey, you Sycamore discarded some Pokemon you needed. Yeah, I gotta get them back. Rescue Stretcher only works for Pokemon, but if you need some speed, and you just need one Pokemon from your discard, you can do that right away. Yeah, this is the more popular version. And Special Charge, if you need those double colors energy backs, this is the easiest way to recycle them. So these are all very essential cards. So most decks run at least, some decks can get away with one, most two if they're higher evolution decks, and if you're running DCEs, you always have to have a Special Charge. Moving on, Expanded. These wonderful deck thinners are gone. Basically, with 60 cards, you don't need all of 60 card deck space. So these are more like air. They shrink your deck, they help you land all the good cards you have. So they're just, yeah, unknown, you just discard it. And you get an extra card. Empty space. Trainer Mail. They're expanded only. Look at the next 4 cards, find a trainer you want. Ultra Ball, hopefully. A Draw Supporter. And Acrobite is you look at the next 2 cards. Pick one and discard the other. It just sort of shrinks your head. There are deck thinners that unfortunately are gone, but don't worry, we have others that we talked about that are still in standard, mainly those Ultra Balls. So that is the Trainer Core system. That is basically what is in the deck template right up here, leaving some out that are more specific to certain decks. Alright, here are the 2. And moving on, Pokemons. This is the big part. We know how, the skeleton between all the Pokemon decks. How about Pokemons? Alright, so I changed this up from last time. Every deck tries to focus on one core Pokemon. When people talk about their decks, it's like, yeah, that's a Gardevoir GX deck. That's a Mewtwo deck. Most decks are defined by one big Pokemon line that you're trying to focus on. So, for example, we have Drampa, Necrozma, Buzzwole. We took all basics. Yeah, that's easy, Donald. So, why? Let's see, Necrozma, look at that, 200 damage, 160 on Buzzwole, and this Berserk can get up to 150. They have very, very, very high base damage, and usually the whole deck is focused around these guys when they're up. Okay, so that's your core Pokemon. You have 3 or 4 copies of these, whatever you could choose. Next up is your alternate attackers. Yeah, they share the same energy cost as their friends up here, but they may have something that helps make up for the weaknesses or something. So in Drampa's case, he's afraid of fighting. He's afraid of Buzzwole, who's afraid of Psychic, who has the same energy cost. He's colorless. You can just use the Psychic Espeon and destroy those Buzzwole friends of yours for one-shot KOs. Yeah, so how about Necrozma? He's a Metal Pokemon. Hey, this Dragon Pokemon also uses Metal Energy. Doesn't have the same weakness. It has some very useful effects with his attacks. Get 6 more cards, bypass any shields, skip a turn with his GX. So that's why you may see a Dialga with Necrozma. Probably not this card, this is that great. Moving on, Buzzwole. Buzzwole, hey buddy. I see you have all these fighting energies here. What card can quickly get you those energies? Any energies you want. Strong, those special strong energies or fighting energies, carbing right here. So, they may have a core Pokemon, but some of the Pokemon probably can help them out that fights as well. Alright, and finally, support Pokemons. They do not fight. They sit in your bench, but they have these fun red checks that give you something for free. What does the Gardevoir do? It shuts down all Pokemon abilities. Yeah, so these things won't get turned off. So haha, stinks to be you. Magnezo. What does he do for Necrozma? Unlimited metal energies can be played from your hand. So that's why that stadium was bad. Mount Coronet gets you 2 free energies from your discard? No. So when that's how this big energy cost discard gets paid for. With things, well, check out the Necrozma deck video for that. For Regirock, it helps out the damage of Buzzwole. Buzzwole is so close to getting 1-hit KOs. Look at that, 160 with the Choice Man. With a few Regirocks and strong energy, you can one-shot KO anything in the game. So these things have to sit on your bench to provide that damage boost. So, this is your core Pokemon here. You have some Pokemons that have the same energy cost that can fight, that have something special about them. Maybe some, maybe not. And if it's possible, some ability Pokemon that can help you out, whether it's draw or something that directly helps the core Pokemon. Okay, so that's essentially how the decks work. So, I have, you know, if your deck isn't working out, you have some pointers here, but I'm going to leave them be for this video. Okay, so this is it. This is the updated version for my Pokemon deck making guide. I hope it helped you out, and time to close this out. Thank you very much, Integrals and Differentials. Take it easy, stay safe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.